Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Hope you're having a wonderful morning today. It's a beautiful sunny day here and it feels like the summer is on the way. It's just a great time of the year. I love this time of the year. It's so energizing and positive. And I hope you've got some fun things planned for the day. I hope that you've got some friends around you or family, or you've got some things by yourself that you're going to do. So whatever it is, I just hope it's going to be a good day for you. I feel like it's going to be great. Now, I'm a rebel this morning. I'm having a cup of coffee. I don't know why, I just felt like a really strong cup of coffee. So cheers to my fellow coffee drinkers and tea drinkers. And sit down, relax, and let's just chat about a couple of things that are on my mind and hopefully something that you can resonate with as well. You know, there are a lot of women in our 60 and Me community who are approaching 60. They're in their late 50s and they're just standing with trepidation at the milestone of 60. And, we've laughed about this many times that I pretended I was 59 for about 3 years. Just before I started 60 and Me. So I understand how difficult that can be, especially if you're working in an environment where it's a young world and the age issue is there. And, ageism is not a myth. I mean, it's not something that we've made up. It really is there and affects us in all kinds of ways. And it's subtle. It's very subtle. I mean, sometimes in the workplace, you've been there for, 20, 30 years, you add huge value. But just when you turn 60, there's something that happens in people's minds to think that you're somehow on your way out, or you're not going to be as committed or as capable, or that, I don't know, something's going to change. And of course it doesn't. And if people just realized that, women in their 60s are going to be living, decades from now, and going to be really useful in the workplace as mentors, as the people who know and have studied and practiced for years. But there somehow is this mental shift that happens, and a lot of women in their 50s do this as well. They think that they look ahead and say, oh, when I'm 60, I'm going to change. I'm going to be different. And of course, it's all in attitude, and we know that. But anyway, one of our bloggers, Penelope Whiteley, actually wrote an article on this, and I wanted to share it with you because Penelope, like me, she's well on her way to her 70s, and she is now, looking back and thinking how many sort of misunderstandings there were about what life was going to be like in her 60s. And she wanted to really communicate this to younger women, that all those myths that you hear about us older girls are just not true. And so she goes through the ones, and we've talked about these before, so I'm going to try to approach them from a little bit different lens as we go through it. But the first thing that she talks about, things that like drive her crazy about stereotypes, are that women over 60 don't care what they look like anymore. And of course, this is simply not true. We may have changed our opinion about clothes or about how we present ourselves in the world. We may be more focused on comfort than we are on style, or maybe a fusion of the two. And also, obviously, we've got some physical challenges that might happen. I can't wear high heels anymore. Well, I can, but I would not be comfortable. I have weak ankles, and it's just not something I want to put myself through. I kind of know I like flat shoes and boots. That's me. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to look good. So I choose stylish boots. I have nice flats, and I wear them, put together in a way that feels good for me. I think what changes is not that you don't want to look good, is that you just set your own criteria. You set your own bar and define yourself in the way you want to be defined. But it's not that you don't want to be looking good. And we certainly have attitude and want to be considered, that we have personality. And our clothing and the way we wear our hair or our makeup is a sign of that. That we actually are trying very, not hard, but we want to look good. We want to be attractive to people. I think it's something in our DNA. But anyway, that's the first thing. Women do want to look great over 60. Second thing is that we complain about our physical ailments, that things start going wrong. I've already said it. I have weak ankles, but I smiled. You may have something that is holding you back from doing certain things now in your 60s, and that's okay. We have gone through, a lot of women in their 50s are still going through menopause, so they may think that is kind of how it continues, but it really, for most people, doesn't. Most people shine through it and feel good once their hormones get a little bit balanced in their 60s. So postmenopause, sure, there's going to be some sleep issues, some occasional sweats, and maybe some will even have those experiences of menopause. But for the majority, it's not a problem. The next big stereotype is that women over 60 don't keep up with the times. Okay, well, there are some people in their 60s, there's some people in their 40s who don't like technology, who don't like the social media sites that require that they be a little bit more open and transparent in order to get that access to information that is there for you in that world. But most women that I've met in their 60s, when I've been traveling, around the world, they are just so tuned into technology. I mean, it's like, are you on WhatsApp? Yeah, I'm WhatsApp. What's your number? Or what's your phone number? Are you on Instagram? Yeah, I just started a new Instagram account. Or, of course, there are many that don't like these things, but Facebook, for example, is a great tool for staying in touch. And we are, in fact, the women are, I think it's over 65 even, but we are the fastest growing demographic on Facebook. I think that's why they bought WhatsApp or Snapchat or whatever one they bought, because they want that younger generation to have its own world. But in terms of Facebook, we are a big player, and we thrive on these platforms. We get to know each other, we share, we communicate, and I think that's really powerful. I'll just stop for a minute here and say that. I think it's really powerful that we can talk to each other like we do on 60andMe, on our website and on our Facebook page, and it's real. I actually don't know any other websites that are like 60andMe and Facebook pages. We have 1,000 new women joining us on Facebook every week. We are dynamic, we are engaged, and it's very unique. And I think that's got something to do with our age, that we are hungry for communication and hungry for dialogue, and we're good at it. We just have had a little practice. But that's one thing. The next thing is that we're afraid of change. Now, of course, there are some people that are nervous about the changing world. It's moving pretty fast. But, it's kind of one of the things I think that we've learned to embrace over the course of our lives. Change is the only permanent. It's the only thing that stays consistent and constant. It is, something we've learned to grow with and to breathe through. And we have techniques that we've developed for dealing with change. So I don't think, help me with this. If you think that you're really hesitant and afraid of change, let me know. Maybe I'm not quite accurate on that one. But from my perspective, and certainly from Penelope's, we love change. We love to embrace it. Bring it on. Bring on the new stuff. We want to learn and we want to grow. So that's another thing. And of course, as we've talked about before, we're starting new jobs. We are building our own businesses. We're finding ways to change with the world that we've created. And I mean this on both levels. I mean on the level of the social world that we have created. Boomers have always been the masters of invention and reinvention, in my opinion. But we've also, on a more subtle level, I think we've actually taken responsibility for the world that we've created with ourselves. I remember last year when I was in Bali and had my yoga class with a beautiful teacher called Ika, and he was reminding us to own our bodies, to own the decisions that we've made that brought us to where we are. Everything we've done. Can't be beating ourselves up all the time for it, but we've actually had to deal with change. Think about the 6 decades that we've lived through. So I think that we're pretty good at change. And I think we intend in the future to continue to grow and change and evolve. At least that's what I'm planning to do, but maybe you can give me some feedback from your side. So these are some, kind of stereotypes that Penelope and I think are happening in our world today. And I'd love to get your feedback on this. What new challenges are you taking on in the world that are breaking through the stereotypes of what people thought an older woman would do? Are you traveling more? Are you starting a business? Are you, a more modern grandmother? Are you, looking after your health in a different way now? Are you exercising more, doing, physical activities? Are you doing marathons? Are you running, doing triathlons or whatever else you stretch yourself with? What are you doing? What kind of challenges are you taking on now that you're in your 60s? I'd love to know more. So let's have a conversation. Let's have a chat about what we're doing with this beautiful time of our lives. And I look forward to sharing the dialogue and seeing what you're all up to. So I hope you have a great, great day. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all the input, the conversation. I do look forward to taking time every day to look at what you've written and join in when I can. And I just would like to say that I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you all back here again really soon. Take good care, everybody. Bye-bye.